Okay, welcome everyone to our Healthy Homes workshop. We're so happy that you're here. Thank you for taking your Saturday, time from your Saturday to spend with us. That means a lot to us. We hope that you enjoy this presentation and that you learn something today, that you walk away from here feeling empowered and challenged to, with what we're going to talk about, how to be healthier in your home, how to improve the health of your own health and for the health of the people in your family and in your home. So as we get started here, just want to say a little disclaimer that this presentation is for informational purposes only. Our intention is to educate and empower by exposing the link between the harmful toxins that are in our everyday products and how they're affecting our health. And so we're not doctors, we're not scientists, but what we're sharing with you today, we have learned through research and classes and workshops that we have attended ourselves. And this information, once you know it, so for me, once I learned this, it changed my life. And I just had to share it with other people. And so we hope that you learned something great from this content today. And yeah, if we want to see a change in our lives and in the world around us, we have to make a change. And so today we're going to talk about how we can do that.
Awesome. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know that, excuse me, time is valuable, and we really appreciate you giving us a little bit of your time today. My name is Jennifer, and in this workshop today, you'll hear our stories and why we feel this is an important topic. We're going to discuss toxic chemicals. What are they? Where are they? And how do they affect us and what we can do about them? Please know that this is not a fear-based presentation. We're all on a journey of learning, and we want to do better because we know better. We can't go back and change the past, but we can make changes that will affect our future. You have the power to change the future. Isn't that exciting? We feel that this is an issue that needs to be talked about, that more people need to hear about. So as we're going through this session today, if names of family members or friends come to mind, I want you to write their names down so that you can reach out to them and share with them what you've learned today. And you can even share this video with them later. I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about myself. My husband, Jason, and I have 4 kids, and you can see them there in the photo on the left. These kids are the most important thing in the world to me, and I want them to have the best future possible, just like all of you moms. I feel like one of the ways that I can do that is by making our home environment as safe as I can and teaching them how to best take care of their health. I've kind of always been very health conscious. When I moved out on my own for the first time and started taking care of my own home, I used more natural cleaning methods. I use honestly just baking soda and vinegar to clean my house mostly, but in part because I'm a very frugal person. But I used a lot of other personal care products also because they were cheap that I didn't know were harmful to me. And as I began to learn about the ingredients in those products, I became very frustrated and honestly very overwhelmed. I distinctly remember a day where I had been standing in a store aisle for a very long time, reading the ingredients on all of the products, looking them up online, and I felt like there was nothing that I could buy that was safe for my family. And that's when Young Living entered the picture. They really have made things easy for me. I have learned so much, and I don't find myself agonizing in store aisles anymore. Products that I know are safe come right to my door each month. And the best part is that I'm no longer on this journey by myself. I have a beautiful community of people who help me along the way. And on that note, I'm going to turn things over to my lovely friend, Joanna.
Hello. My name is Joanna. I'm married to Kevin, and we have 2 kids. I've been slowly transitioning toxins out of my house for the past 1.5 years, ever since Jen and Rebecca introduced me to Young Living. And it's given me so much peace of mind to get rid of the things that were possibly affecting my health or just getting together and in the future would affect my health. So I have had so many sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. Right. So one thing that I've noticed is one of the first things I bought was the laundry soap with Young Living. And my son used to always get a rash anytime I switched laundry soaps, even when I tried to use more natural ones, so-called natural from Costco or whatever. And he used to get a rash every time I would switch, but now he doesn't. And our clothes feel cleaner. We don't have smells staying in them. And so that's one good change from getting these toxins out of my house. And I just do feel more confident about choosing products and the products that I use. And that's kind of how this non-toxic life has affected my life. I'll pass it over to Rebecca.
Awesome. Thank you, Joanna. So this is a picture of my family here. My husband and I, we have 3 kids and we're a military family, so we move a lot. And for me, our story, I was always a little bit naturally minded where I knew I wanted to use healthy products. I knew I wanted to, look for natural options when it came to health and wellness. But one struggle I had was I had trouble finding products that actually worked. And I didn't have what I needed to take care of my family when it came to health and wellness. And so when I was first introduced to Young Living a few years back, I remember sitting there listening. I attended a workshop just like this, and I remember hearing everything they were saying. And I thought, wow, I wonder if this is for real. Like if what they're saying is true, like this is what I need this. And so we introduced essential oils into our home, and it just changed the way we did things in our home. We learned how to use the oils to support our health and wellness. And then we learned that a lot of the products we had in our home, even though I thought they were natural and I thought they were clean, I learned that they actually weren't. And I saw different ways in our health that they were affecting us. And so I slowly started a transition, all those toxins out, and introducing clean products that actually support health and wellness. And a couple of things that changed in our home was my husband used to get allergies every year, sometimes spring and fall. And he also he dealt with back pain, like debilitating back pain. And after changing out our products and using essential oils, he does not have allergies anymore, and he does not have the same back pain that he had. And so those are just a couple of our testimonies. We actually have a whole handful of them, from emotional support to immunity support. We just have found stuff that actually works. And so I like what Joanna said, it brings her peace of mind. I 100% agree. It brings me peace in my heart to know that, I have the right things in my home to help support health and wellness. And with Young Living isn't just about the products, it's about the community. It's about the journey. We're all doing this together. Everybody does the best they can with what they have, and we're all just on this journey together. And so it's been a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so it's just been refreshing to have this option in our life. And so today we're going to talk about why it is important to have clean products in your home. And we live in a day of lots of information, lots of resources at our disposal. And yet when we look around us, we actually see people getting sicker and sicker, younger and younger, and people of all ages are on medication. And in my mind, when I think, okay, we live in a land of abundance and resources and healthcare, why are we seeing that? Why is that our trend? Shouldn't we be getting healthier? And so we have to actually stop and look at this, look a little bit closer, because something isn't right, because it's affecting everybody's health and not in good ways. And so if we want to see a change, we have to make a change. And our country actually spends a lot of money every year on our healthcare system. So when we go to the doctor here in Canada, we don't actually have to pay, but our government does. And our government spends billions of dollars every year on healthcare for people who are going in. And it's actually $147 billion. And that's a lot of money. So that just shows us that people in Canada are not well. And the trend isn't improving. It seems to be getting worse. And so we have to take a look at why that might be happening. And so one thing that we see when we have been doing some research is that toxin use is on the rise. And there is a documentary called Stink. It used to be on Netflix, but I don't think it is there anymore. But if you look, you can find it. And it just talks about how chemicals, toxins have been introduced into our products, into every product that we use in our home. So here it says that 80,000 toxic chemicals were permitted for use in the United States and in Canada, North America, that actually haven't even been tested for safety with humans. And this chemical industry is massive, 770 billion in annual sales. So this is a huge organization, a huge industry that is secretly and quietly putting these toxic ingredients into our products. And I feel that that's what's contributing to the illnesses that we see on the rise. A lot of these ingredients have not been tested for our safety. They've just been slipped in there anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, Rebecca. This here is just a short list of products that many of us use almost daily where toxins can be hiding. As I read through this list, just look at the average number of chemicals. Like just take a glance at that number that's there. Perfume, a whopping 250. This is an average number of chemicals that are found in each of these products. Shampoo, fake tans, deodorant, body lotion, nail polish, hairspray, eyeshadow, 26 right on your eyelids, like blush, foundation, lipstick. That's a lot of chemicals in products that we use every single day. Now, our bodies are designed to deal with toxins, but when these toxins build up, they cause something called body burden. I'd actually, if you are taking any notes, just write that term down, body burden. And I would encourage you to take some time to do a little research on your own to find out just exactly what that is. Body burden refers to the total amount of chemicals that are present in the human body at a given time. Now, as I mentioned, our bodies are fully capable of healing themselves. They're designed to detox. They're actually very good at it. But when they become so overloaded and burdened with toxins, they just can't do what they were designed to do any longer. The toxins take over, making us sick. So let's just take a quick peek at where some of these are hiding. Do any of these products look familiar? This is just a very small sample of places where toxins are actually hiding, and they are in a lot of our common household products that we buy at the store all the time. So we have learned that no, we cannot assume that because it's on the shelf, it is safe and tested. To give a quick background, like 40 years ago, there were acts passed that basically said that if a chemical does not have specific studies showing that it is dangerous, it will be considered safe. It's called GRAS, generally regarded as safe unless proven otherwise. And that's the state that we're in today. The chemicals found in these products, even in small amounts, do interfere with our health. So it's time to take a step back and think, are the products that I use every day in my home safe for my health? Again, it's important for you to do some of your own research and not just assume that because it's on the shelf that it must be safe. I actually have found looking up things online, it's really easy to find articles about how products are harming us. Here's one: infants exposed to cleaning supplies more susceptible to asthma. That doesn't sound very good. And here's another article about makeup and toxic ingredients found in our makeup. And these are like, this is CTV. This is not just somebody saying things, you know. Again, I encourage you to look these things up for yourself. It's not difficult to find evidence that there are harmful ingredients in the products we use. That alone is quite concerning that you can find so much information about it. So I ask, why are these ingredients even allowed in our products? I don't know. Rebecca is going to take us a little deeper to look at what some of these ingredients may be doing to us.
So one concerning factor with the chemical toxins in our ingredients is endocrine disrupting chemicals. And if you're writing things down to look up, write this down too. And what these chemicals do is they mimic our hormones. So our body communicates cells to cells, organs to organs, through our nervous system, and through two ways. One is hormones and one is electricity, like electrical impulses. And the hormone side is what we're going to talk about this morning, because when our body, and we know that, hormones, we hear that word a lot, hormones control a lot of functions in our body, that when a toxin comes along, an endocrine disrupting chemical, it's actually shaped like a hormone. So our body can't recognize that it's not a hormone. So our cell could say, oh, I need estrogen. And our cells have like a lock and key type of system where it's like, I look at it like a Lego block. The cell says, I need estrogen, and estrogen will come and click onto the cell. And then the cell will go do what it needs to do. Well, when the cell says, I need estrogen, and a endocrine disrupting chemical actually clicks on to our cell, the cell goes off, it cannot do what it needs to do. And so that's how it confuses the body. It looks like estrogen, it looks like hormones, but it's not. They do not function the same. They do not do what our body needs it to do. And so it's causing a disrupt in our endocrine system. And here is our endocrine system. It controls so many different functions in our body. So on the left side here, you see the different glands and organs that are controlled directly by the endocrine system. We have our pineal gland, the hypothalamus, pituitary, thyroid, thymus, pancreas, adrenals, and the reproductive organs. And on the right, we see, this is not even all of it, but these are just common functions of our body that are affected by the endocrine system. So growth, body temperature, pain relief, pregnancy, childbirth, metabolism, digestion, reproduction, blood sugar levels, energy, immune system, fatigue, adrenals. These are very, very important functions of our body. And if we have toxic ingredients in our products that are mimicking our hormones, these everyday functions are not going to happen the way that they need to. And so we're going to have evidence of that in our lives. We're not going to sleep well. We're going to feel tired. There can be struggles with blood pressure or blood sugar, hormonal disrupt. A lot of things that are happening in our health, we tend to just think that it's normal, but it's actually not. It's because our endocrine system has been disrupted. And just knowing that our body communicates with hormones, we want to set our bodies up for success. We want our bodies to successfully communicate and function. Our bodies, as Jen mentioned already, are designed to heal. They're always trying to heal. And when there's disrupt, when there are chemicals in there that are interfering, it can't do what it was designed to do, and it can lead to some problems. So one concept to think about is called the chemical cocktail. And what that means is that by itself, one toxic ingredient may not be that harmful, but when mixed with another toxic ingredient, that's when it becomes harmful. And I know we're all told don't mix bleach and ammonium, and that's just an example of this. Certain chemicals are not meant to mix. And when we looked at that body burden picture, we saw 250 potential average ingredients in perfume alone. Then we have eyeshadow and we have deodorant. They all have different ingredients. What's happening when they mix in our bodies? What's happening when they begin to build up and accumulate? Then we get a chemical cocktail inside our own bodies that is affecting our health. And things as simple as headaches or achy joints or back pain, we have to say, wait a minute, is there a connection here? For some reason in North America, we are not taught to recognize the connection between our products that we're using and our health. So whatever you put on your skin is in your bloodstream in 26 seconds, no matter what it is. Whether it's an amazing, awesome essential oil, that's exciting. But if it's something that's got toxic ingredients, up to 250, it's going on our skin, it's in our bloodstream in 26 seconds. And to me, that really matters. When I heard that, I was like, wow, no, I don't want all those in my bloodstream. I don't want all those circulating through my body. And so I had to make some changes in my life because I wanted to protect my body, I protect my children, and protect my family. And so I think it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal. A big one to watch out for is fragrance. And when I first started learning about this issue, I watched the video that Rebecca mentioned, Stink. And I also highly recommend you get finding that and watching it. Um, Basically, the term fragrance or parfum on a cosmetic ingredient list is a catch-all phrase for a complex mixture of dozens of chemicals. There are some 3,000 different chemicals used as synthetic fragrances, and they do not have to tell us what chemicals are included in that name on a label because they're considered trade secrets. So shortly after I learned what fragrance was, I came across a mall kiosk that was selling natural skincare products, and I noticed that fragrance was on the list of ingredients. So I asked the person who was working there what that was exactly, that's fragrance, but they could not tell me. And I thought, well, I'm not going to buy your product because you don't even know what that is. And it was at that moment that I learned that even though something claims to be natural, it may not be free from toxic ingredients. And so fragrance is a big one. And I encourage you to look that up too and see for yourself what the research shows on that. This little list here is called a Dirty Dozen list, and it was put together by the David Suzuki Foundation with their list of the top 12 ingredients to avoid, as they are considered extremely harmful to our health. So just at a glance here, like, I'm not going to read through the ingredients, but some of the things, like some of them are carcinogens, some of them are endocrine disruptors like Rebecca talked about. Some of them cause allergies, some of them, and these are things that are found in very common products in our home. So check your shampoo bottles, your dish soap, your deodorant, see if any of the ingredients are on that list. If you just Google David Suzuki Dirty Dozen, it's very easy to find. A couple of other resources that I would recommend. There's a website called the Environmental Working Group, and it's ewg.org. You can enter ingredient names and it'll tell you what that is. And there's also an app called Think Dirty. I have it on my phone. You can scan products right in the store. You can scan the barcode and then it'll rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, how clean the product is. Some of them are American items, but you may even have to search for it by name. Like scanning the barcode doesn't always work, but that's a great app to have on your phone. It's free.
And with that app, if you get a 10, that means like really bad. And so 1 to 3 is not so bad. And I think Jen had mentioned that anything with fragrance always charts really high, like 8 to 10 kind of thing. So it's not a good one. So we're going to talk about a couple ways that these toxins are affecting our health statistically across Canada. And one of them is infertility. And this is the one that is like a big one for me because I want my kids to have kids one day if they want to. I don't want that decision to be taken from them. And if we look at the statistics here, in 1984, 5.4% of women were struggling with infertility. It then went up to 8.5. And by 2010, which is 11 years ago, 15.7%. And I'm having trouble finding a more recent statistic. So it's not an easy thing to find. But if you can just imagine by looking at the graph where 2020 or 2021 might actually rest on this graph, that's kind of alarming to me because where are we going to be in another 10, 20 years? That number is not getting better. And when we talked about endocrine disrupting chemicals, this is an evidence of that, infertility. And I know that people who struggle with this or have this challenge in their lives, that it's a really big one. And this is the thing that really pricked my heart was I want my kids to have kids someday. I'd like to be a grandmother someday. And so this is the one that really stood out to me. I was like, you know what, if we need to get some of these toxins out for our children, then we do that. And, sometimes people think, but it's so expensive. Why are clean products so expensive? Well, here's another question too. Why are toxic products so cheap? Like, why are they so cheap? And so the question can go two ways there. Another way that we see evidence of toxins is cancer. And in the US, a statistic is that 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer, when 40 years ago, it was 1 in 20. So that has really jumped. And we know many people personally in our own lives and in our own families who have been affected by this. And we know how devastating and how hard this journey can be with cancer. And a friend of mine that I actually met through Young Living, she lost several family members to cancer. And so she was sent in for genetic testing to see if she's on track for that. And the genetic specialist sat her down and he said, listen, cancer is only 5 to 8% genetic. The rest, 92 to 95%, is based on environmental factors. He said, so you can come in here and you can get a test, but really what you do in your lifestyle dictates the results more than your genetics. And so at that moment, she decided, you know what, I have to make a change. That is not going to be my story. That is not going to be in my path. And so she started sharing Young Living with others, and that was a few years ago now, and is healthier than ever, and is now sharing her story with other people of how to avoid some of these big hurdles, some of these big health challenges that we see all around us. And so, yeah, if there's something we can be doing, I think that it's worth taking a look at.
Absolutely. And you know what? Not all of the health issues that we encounter are as life altering as things like Rebecca was talking about, cancer and infertility. This here is a list of health issues that we have kind of learned to cope with in our life. They've become so common that we're led to believe that they're just a normal part of life. Things like allergies, eczema, asthma, migraines, headaches, anxiety, dizziness, painful and irregular menstruation, constipation, heartburn, rashes, earaches, achy joints, back, pain. You know, what if these things aren't normal? What if they don't have to be? What if we have the power to improve our lives just by eliminating these toxins? Personally, I think it's worth a shot. I'm going to talk for just a minute about anxiety and depression. After all the things that we've learned about how toxins wreak havoc on our bodies, is it any wonder that things like stress, anxiety, depression are at an all-time high today? And what do they tell us depression is? A chemical imbalance. What if it could be as simple as that? Now, I'm not saying that this is a cure for depression, but what if simply removing toxic chemicals from our everyday lives could make a significant difference? Just think about that. Like I was mentioning earlier, our bodies are so beautiful and complex, but we have to take care of them.
So this is where the fun part happens. So what are our options? How can we avoid these toxins? If we get them out of our home, what other choices do we have? And so we're going to talk about how Young Living can step in and what they can do for you and what they've done for us. And so when we think about all the things we've talked about, think about how you clean your house. Well, for me, this is what I used to use. I used to use my Windex. I used to use my Lysol toilet bowl cleaner, the kind that looked fun colored and great smell. And I used to use air fresheners in my bathroom and fun scented plug-in things. And think about this. It's so ironic that we clean our homes with toxic ingredients. So we're actually wiping down doorknobs and counters and windows and mirrors and our beds, sheets and our blankets and our clothes with toxic ingredients. So when we're cleaning, we're actually leaving toxins everywhere. So that's not really cleaning. We think it's clean because it smells good and it's shiny now, but that is advertising and an illusion, because we're actually wiping everything down with toxins. And so it doesn't have to be that way. So one other thing to think about here is greenwashing. And Jen mentioned it a little bit before, is often they'll put natural or clean, or see up here we have lavender and flowers, natural. But when you actually read the label, it's no different than the regular stuff that they sell. And I believe, some of these, Greenworks and Live Clean, 7th Generation, they're actually owned by larger companies that produce other products, other cleaning supplies and household products that aren't good for our health. So just because it says natural and clean, it, unfortunately, it doesn't mean that it is. And so that was actually one of my struggles before Young Living, was I couldn't find anything natural that worked. Like I would often go to the health food store or the little healthy aisles in Winners and other places in search for products that were actually clean and that would work. And it's a hard combination to find. And so we're going to talk about Young Living a little bit. And Young Living released a new mantra, a new vision statement this year. And this is part of it. A healthy home for each of us, a healthy world for all of us. And that's one thing I love about Young Living, is they're not just about themselves and their products. They actually care about us. They care about what we use in our home. They care about our planet. They care about other people. And I'm actually gonna go off grid here a little bit. And so bear with me. And I'm gonna show you what Young Living is doing today. So I'm going to share this video. This is the Cooper family, and they're going to share their toxin-free journey story with you. And then I'm going to tell you what this family is actually doing today. I just heard about it today, and I thought, oh my goodness, I just love Young Living people even more, and Young Living, what they're doing. So give me a thumbs up if you can hear this when I hit play, and we're going to watch this video together.
I'm Brian Cooper.
I'm Amanda Rose Cooper, and we've been in Young Living since 2014.
Amanda and I met in 2007 at a wedding reception, and it was pretty much love at first sight.
We were married within 5 months. A few years into all of this, we were getting ready to have baby number 4, and we moved into a new home, and shortly thereafter, a lot of us started to become sick. Within a few weeks, we brought home the baby and she started coughing. And then a few months after that, our son was 3 years old at that time, and he began having a lot of respiratory issues, sick all of the time. It was hard for us to leave home. He was misdiagnosed with 2 autoimmune disorders. He, at that point, was throwing up every day. He had unexplained fevers.
So working constantly and seeing the struggle that she went through was very, very hard. Her calling almost every day on the phone saying, I can't do this. It was hard trying to provide, but also being away from the home.
At that point, Nathan started asking if he could actually go to heaven because he was in so much pain every day. And as a mom, I felt really helpless. I didn't know what I could give him. One night, I knelt by his bed and I just prayed that God would show me something that I could do for him. I went back to my room and my dad had emailed me a story of another family who was using essential oils to help their bodies with their healthy immune systems, and I was intrigued. So I looked at Brian and I said, can we try one more thing?
I said, yes, whatever it takes.
We discovered there was toxic black mold in our home, and our eyes began to be opened as to all the symptoms we were all experiencing at that point. So as a mom, I started to think, if something in my own home was making him sick, maybe there would be other things in our environment that I needed to switch out to allow his body to heal. So I started to switch out many different things in our house, the cleaners, the shampoos, the nutritional side, and became a whole lifestyle switch. I think it's every mom's worst fear to not be able to help our child stay well. And now, knowing that I have tools in my own home to be able to care for my children, it just takes all the guesswork out. I love how I feel empowered, and I know what to do to care for my children. During that first year, I was really focused on just getting my children healthy and changing our lifestyle and helping them specifically. For over 12 years, I was a piano teacher, but when my children became sick, I had to shut down my business. And there was a part of me that felt like it was missing now. I felt like there was still more of me I wanted to be able to share with the world, but I was torn because teaching from home had become more difficult, and also I wanted to stay home with my children still. So I started to really look into what the Young Living opportunity was and how that might help us financially.
She said, I feel like I need to share this with other people. People need to know our story, and I think I can help a lot of people, and I want to do the business. And so I said, okay, not really thinking it was going to go anywhere. There was a time when she came in and she put a check down on the table, and I was like, okay, I need to rethink this.
Young Living was running a promotion at that time, and I wanted to achieve it, and we did. And so that made me feel very excited to keep going forward and just see where this could go. We work from home, and one of my favorite parts now is that not only has our story changed, I have seen thousands of other stories change. And just being able to help them get oils in their home or natural products and be able to watch all these families' lives transform has been the greatest gift.
One night she sat down, she said, I don't know why we're going through all of this with our son especially, but I know that if our story can help just one other family, it'll be worth it. And being able to help thousands of people now is awesome.
We are the Coopers, and this is our Young Living transformation story.
Okay, so I loved hearing that story. And this is not unique just to the Cooper family. This is story after story, people in the Young Living community that have had these transformations happen. And so today I saw this post that this family is doing. So this is the Cooper family. And on Facebook today, they posted, this is what it says. So honored to be a part of our first Flipping for Freedom with the D. Gary Young Foundation and Brian and Amanda Cooper. So what this family is doing is they are helping rescue or helping prepare homes for children who have been rescued from human trafficking. So they are flipping for freedom, which I think is amazing. So this is their family. Here are pictures of everyone who came out to help. And I believe even Mary Young is there. And so for me, this speaks volumes because of all the people who are there. So for me, that just shows me that Young Living is changing lives. It's changing the lives of the people who are using the products, and it's empowering and equipping people to change lives around the world. So a healthy home for each of us, a healthy world for all of us. And so what that family is doing is something in our own continent. They are actually doing things today that are helping people. So flipping homes, preparing homes for children who have been rescued from human trafficking, that is a need in our culture today, and they are meeting those needs. And so that is just a glimpse at what Young Living does. Not only do they help provide us with amazing products, they change the world around them. And I love being a part of a company that is cutting edge, top of the line, and they are pushing things forward. They are changing the world around us, and that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rebecca. That's great. Young Living is the world leader in essential oils. They got started 27 years ago, and it started as a style company. Young Living has over 600 products that are all toxin-free, infused. They really do make things easier for us. As I shared in my story, I'm so relieved to have a company with products that I know that I can trust. They have so much possibility as well. If you just quickly look at this, they have natural health products, they have cosmetics, they have home care products, personal care products, supplements, baby line, healthy fit. They have an amazing antioxidant drink called Ningxia. And they have financial opportunities as well. Gary Young, the founder of Young Living, was quoted saying, I don't make products for profit, I make products for purpose. And I believe this wholeheartedly. Young Living puts their seed to seal quality guarantee on all of their products, and they believe in giving back to their members. This is not a company that's on the market just to make money.
Exactly. So when you think about this, we're all spending money every day. Well, not every day, but we're spending our money. We make our money, we spend our money. And if you think about if each dollar you spent was a vote, who are you voting for? Who is getting your dollars? And a lot of the times we actually don't know who is getting our dollar or what they're doing with our dollar. But that's what I like about Young Living is I actually know who's getting my dollar and I know what they're doing with it. And so that actually brings me peace of mind as well, knowing that I am partnering with a company that is not only looking out for my health, but also the health of the world around us. And actually Young Living has a way of making things better wherever they go and changing the world, which is amazing. And so Canadians spend on average $1,600 a year on products that are potentially making us sick and affecting our health. $200 to $300 a year on cleaning supplies. And we talked about what might be in those cleaning supplies. They actually say that most cleaning supplies don't even list any ingredients on the back. It's actually really hard to find. And so we are spending our hard-earned money on products that are actually making us sick, and then we actually have to spend our money on sick care products. So one thing I found when I switched over to Young Living and healthy products is that I wasn't buying sick care stuff anymore. No more allergy stuff, no more back pain pills, no more things that we were using, things that we were naturally grabbing. We had to retrain ourselves to grab the oils or the other products that Young Living offers. And, but we weren't buying sick care stuff anymore. I actually don't buy things from Shoppers Drug Mart anymore. I don't even have to go there now. I don't buy things from the healthcare aisles there in Walmart because I don't need to go there anymore. And so I actually am saving money because I'm not buying those sick care products. So we're already spending our money. We're just shifting where we spend it. So when you get started with Young Living, there's a couple entry points, a couple ways to get started. The best way is with starter bundles because they've been already reduced and bundled and packaged just for starting out. And so you can either start with oils, or if you feel like you want to start by switching out your cleaning products, they have a healthy home bundle. And the purpose of the oils is to replace fragrance in your home, whether you're using air fresheners, plugins, or you just want to freshen the air in your home. Diffusing oils does just that, and it helps support your body. So when you're spraying with Febreze or other Lysol sprays, you're changing the scent in your home, but you're adding stress to your body. Whereas when you diffuse oils, you're freshening the air and you are helping support your health. And there's also lots to learn about the oils as to how to use them for your health. And the other option is the Healthy Home Bundle with the Thieves Household Cleaning line. This was a game changer for me because, as I mentioned before, I was looking for natural products that worked. And that's a hard combination to find, but Young Living actually nailed it. They have amazing laundry soap, amazing hand soap, household cleaner. So I should have grabbed it and had it here with me, but a bottle of Thieves household cleaner, it's just under $30. But when you're actually using it, you fill up a bottle with water and you add 1 capful of the Thieves household cleaner and off you go. You can clean every surface in your home. That is the only cleaning product other than like laundry detergent and dish detergent stuff that I have in my home. I don't use anything else. And so it's actually simplified it. So when I saw the last slide, $200 to $300 a year on cleaning supplies, I was like, actually, I don't. I spend 30, sometimes 60 a year if I have to get 1 or 2 bottles of the household cleaner. So it's amazing. It smells great and it really works. So for me, ditching the toxins and switching to clean products has been a game changer. And I know that it's been a game changer for many other families. and that it can be a game changer for you. And so when you become a Young Living member, it's absolutely free to open an account, and you automatically get 24% off retail prices. You can enter into their monthly ordering program, which is called Essential Rewards, where there's lots of perks and bonuses for that. There's an amazing community. We're always doing classes and continuing learning together. And there's no monthly minimum at all. There's just an annual minimum, which is like $50 a year. And so it's not a hard minimum to reach. And as I mentioned, Essential Rewards, that is their monthly ordering program, and it's 100% customizable. It's actually something you control yourself, where you choose what products you want. If you're deciding, what personal health goals you need to focus on right now, or what products you want to ditch and switch to, it can change from month to month. You choose the day it ships, you choose how it ships to you, and you qualify for different loyalty gifts, freebies every month, and every order you will get some points back that you can spend as cash. And so there's cheaper shipping rates and awesome product bundles that are only available to people who are on Essential Rewards. So for me, this is the way I go, because having switched over our personal care products and their makeup and all their amazing things, I just add a few things to my cart every month and I get freebies and points back, and it's a beautiful thing. This is actually a really simplified life for me, because I get gas, I get groceries, and I get Young Living. And that has just really kind of simplified things, which I'm always looking for simple. And so that is our Healthy Home presentation. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And I just want to leave you with this one thought. Somebody had once asked me how I would feel if no one had ever introduced me to Young Living. And I took a couple days to actually seriously consider what my answer might be. And I realized, wait a minute, if no one had introduced me to Young Living, I would have like this huge void in my life. I would have not made the friendships and the connections that I have. We would still have back pain. We would still have allergies. I would still be an emotional roller coaster. My hormones would be all over the place. And it made my eyes water. And I thought, oh, how awful. Like, I'm so glad that somebody took the time to introduce Young Living to me, because it's changed my life. I'm not the same person who joined Young Living, and I couldn't be happier. And it actually makes me excited to think, you know what, how else is life going to change in the next 2 or 3 years? Every change has been so positive that I know there's more along the path to discover still. So thank you for taking the time to join us today. We're grateful that you're here, and I hope that you learned something valuable. And think about this. If you learn something, share that with your friends, share that with your family, because this isn't just information for us. This is information for us to share.